Hi, it's Emily or Emmy Rose 22A. I am coming to you with my hopefully new series. It's called Crafty Accountability. This is something I wanted to do since I first started my channel, probably even before I did my journaling by fives, which has almost been 3 years ago. It's kind of a podcast, video journal, whatever you want to call it, to kind of keep me on track for with my crafty projects. I have mentioned before that I don't have like specific TV in my house. I don't pay for cable or anything like that. And so I watch a lot of YouTube and I watch a lot of podcasts. And I love watching what people are up to. I love, seeing what everybody's doing every week. So I've kind of thought the whole time, why can't I do that? And a newer-ish, I guess, podcast. She's not so new anymore, but Dunderknits has the Knitting Vicariously podcast, and she has a specific section about knitting vicariously, which is, kind of knitting through your dreams, the yarn you wish you could use, or the yarn you have that you wish you could use, or the projects you wish you could start, kind of a thing. And so I kind of feel like I have been podcasting vicariously. So she has a knit along, is what it is right now, and it's the Blame Dunder Knit Along. And so kind of in conjunction with that, I am filming my first episode. I hope this isn't too crazy, slapdash, whatever. I've tried to prepare. I have notes. We'll see how it goes. I've never done anything like this before. Like I said, I've watched quite a few, so I kind of know what I think I should be including, but no guarantees. And I can't promise on like the quality of anything really. We got a time during the day. My daughter's down for a nap. So I'm recording on a Saturday. Oh, sorry. Today is Saturday, January 26th. I hope. Yes. 2019. Welcome to episode 1 of the Crafty Accountability Podcast. I kind of want to start my podcast every week talking about, I am a doTERRA wellness advocate, and I am a strong believer and user of essential oils, so I just kind of wanted to talk about an oil every week, either what I'm diffusing or what I'm wearing or whatever. Today's blend is Brave. It is part of the doTERRA Kids. I'm sure this is backwards because I'm using my forward-facing camera, but it's part of the doTERRA Kids line, and they come with these really cute flashcards to help the kids know how to use their oils. And the flashcard for Brave, which is the Courage blend. Whoops, let me show you the front of the card. It's the Courage blend. It says, before new or different situations or just to start your day, roll Brave onto your tummy or bottoms of your feet for a boost of courage and confidence. And I really felt like I could use a little bravery today because I'm very nervous doing this. I'm hoping it'll get easier and more fluid. I'm so used to watching podcasts that are higher up in the episodes that, they've been doing it forever. So of course they're seamless and flawless and whatnot. And even, I'm not sure how Caroline did it, but her first episode is like on it. I'm pretty sure mine won't be, but that's okay. So I want to talk about all my crafts. This isn't just a knitting thing. I'm multi-craftual. I like to do most of the things. Right now my biggest draws, I guess, are knitting and crochet. I love yarny things. I was a crocheter first, then I learned to knit, and I just kind of am addicted and love knitting right now. But crochet still has a special place in my heart, and I still work on crochet projects frequently, actually. Sewing is another one of my loves. I really love quilting, but I do other sewing as well. The other section I'll probably have in here is paper crafting, which will be lots of stuff. I do card making. I want to get into scrapbooking. I haven't done a whole lot of that, but we're going to talk a little bit about that later. I've done some art journaling. You can see some of the art journaling things on this channel. I might record some more. I'd really love to finish my advent calendar. I have stuff set up for the rest of the pages, so I'd really like to kind of keep going on that. But anywho, so those are kind of my main categories, I think, that I'll have at least for right now. And then there might be other crafts, because I do cross stitch, and I've done some wreath making, and I don't even know, all kinds of stuff. So we'll kind of throw that on as they come. I don't have any of that this week. So for first starts, we're going to start with my yarny stuff. I have a couple of finished objects this week. I'm kind of proud of that. I have, sorry, I've got all my stuff next to me. I have made a couple of just beanies, very basic. I meant to have my foam head so I could put them on, but I don't. Crochet beanies. These are for, and I apologize, I'm going to have to be referring to my notes. And I have something in the way of them. Yeah. Can you tell I'm new? Okay. So this is for the Magic Yarn Project. They do crochet character hats for kids with cancer, and they provide them for free. And I've got 2 of them in the blue colorway. And our local chapter is doing a big, you can make them yourself, send them in, or they also do like group activity kind of things, and they're doing a big one down at BYU, which is I'm gonna call it a local college. It's about an hour and a half away from me, so not like super local, down in Provo. They're doing a big, they want to make 500, assemble 500 character hats. So they're looking for people to make the components for the hats or wigs, and then at the event people will put them together. And they had sign-ups through Facebook, or what, that's where I saw it. I'm a member of the Rocky Mountain group, I believe is what we are. The US is cut up into different areas, so you can check for your local thing, and they're trying to get international. They're looking for more information for like international charities or hospitals. I'm not sure. I'm not international, so I didn't, and I didn't tell you this. I'm coming to you from Layton, Utah, which is just about 20 miles north of Salt Lake, in Utah. Yeah, we're disorganized. It's okay. Anyway, so they had sign-ups for the hats, and I had seen, my mom had pointed out, they were in the paper, in the charity or volunteer section of the newspaper. And so I had their information saved, and then they were asking for these hats, and they were doing sign-ups, and I was like, okay, well maybe I'll make a couple of beanies for them. And then they have a person who loves to make the logos that go on the hats. And so they just needed the beanies, which I can make beanies. So these are destined to be Superman beanies. They have Superman shields ready to go on them already. And so I'm going to send these in. They request that you make a couple. They have very specific guidelines. This is following their pattern that they request that you use. They have very specific like height and circumference requirements, and specific yarns that you use. It's all on their website. So they ask that you make a couple and send them in so they can give you feedback and make sure that what you're making, you know, meets up to what they need, because they need the consistency and stuff so that they don't have, you know, they get to these volunteer things and they can just like, they know everything they get is going to be awesome. So I'm going to send these 2 in, and these 2 are destined to be Superman beanies. And then I'm going to buy some more yarn. Like, I need to buy more yarn, but I don't have, this is Caron Simply Soft. Sorry, I didn't even say. Caron Simply Soft in the royal blue colorway. That's what they requested for this one. And so I'm going to buy some more Simply Soft and make some more hats. But I'm going to get these in the mail on Monday so that they can get down to them, and they can send me my feedback and make sure I'm good to go. The event is March 16th, I want to say. So my goal is to make 2 hats a week throughout the month of February. So I'll have 8 more to send in at the end of February, and that'll give 10 hats that I've made. And then kind of depending on what my leftovers are, what my schedule's looking like, I'm kind of thinking I want to do like 1 a week after that. With these, you make the components, you send them, they assemble them, which is kind of nice because I fret over getting my, you know, things positioned just right, and is it straight, and is it centered, and so I don't have to worry about any of that with this version of it. So that's my first finished object, a couple of crochet hats. Those, based on just kind of calculating the time, it's about an hour and a half each. I really don't think they're going to take me that long once I get the groove. I had to, you know, do measurements, and I had to redo the hat almost because I did just my hook size, and you know how it goes when you're first making something. My second finished object, I just have 2 like finished objects this week. That's another thing. I don't know how often I'm going to record. I don't know how often I'm going to get to record. My daughter is 11 months old, so kind of depends on how long it takes me to edit, how long it takes me to get it all set up and done, if I can record during a nap, because my boyfriend's home today, so if Tabitha wakes up, he can get her, and I don't have to worry about it. But you know, obviously if we're home alone during the week or whatever, it's on me. So my second object, I gotta find the second one, is It's a little pair. These are wristers. It is the Really Easy Wrister pattern by Red Heart. And this is in Red Heart Soft in the Fruit Punch colorway. And I'm going to put one of these down for just a minute so I can show you. There's a little bit, this is a free pattern on Red Heart. There's 3 rows of ribbing, and then you go stockinette for a while, and then you seam up the side. You knit it flat and you seam up the side, and you just leave a hole for your thumb. And it's a little wrister. This is offered as a class through Joanne. Your local Joanne should have it as a class. It's the class is called Kids Knit Wristers, and I'm a teacher. I'm the knitting teacher at my local Joanne, and my sample's already there. My full-size pair's already there, but my student I knew would not get through a whole wrister, so she wouldn't be able to learn how to do the mattress stitch to seam up the side. So I kind of thought, well, we need to have a little sample so that they can practice their mattress stitch on the side of the wrister. And so I made a pair for my daughter Tabitha. So if we can, I'll try to get a picture of her wearing them and insert it so that you guys can see how cute my baby looks with her little wristers on, because that is so funny. To me, it's hilarious. And I have about this much yarn left over. So I'm really thinking I'm going to make her a hat to match. So she'll have a little hat and fingerless gloves. That's so cute. I love knitting for my baby. Baby stuff's so fun to knit. It's so small, so quick, so easy. I love it. Okay. So those are all my finished objects. So let's get on to my works in progress. And I have several. And I'm only showing you the ones that I'm currently working on, which is kind of saying a lot in my opinion. My number 1 project, which is living in this project bag by, there's a tag on here, I gotta think, it's by Stitching Plaza, and this was my, I participated in a project bag challenge put on by Candy Shop Yarns and Molly Klein Design, and this was the bag I got, this was at Christmas time, this was the bag I got from my swap partner, and I love Star Wars, and it's technically, I guess, Christmassy, because it is, I guess it can be seasonal, but it doesn't have to be seasonal, and I love that because, and these are cross stitch, I don't know if you can tell that detail, but they're cross stitch, so I mean, it's like crafty Star Wars, so it'll be a year-round bag for me. Living in here is my Beeswax Hat by Amy Van de Laar. I started this is, I just have the ribbing and I'm in the transition, the ribbing transition. I hope this is showing up okay. This phone's supposed to have a really good camera, so I'm really hoping. And this yarn is Stranded Dyeworks on her Merino Aran base in the Paintbox One of a Kind 128 colorway. I got this on her birthday update. She is a UK British dyer, and I watched her podcast and I've been lusting after her yarn, and when she had her birthday update she did free shipping if you bought 3 skeins, and I had seen this colorway and I really wanted to knit a beeswax hat, and I've been kind of waiting for a honey-y colorway, and I just love this colorway. All these little specks, if you've ever seen like a true beehive, like the honeycombs in a beehive, they have a lot of like debris and stuff in there because there's, you know, like bees die and whatnot and lose parts of themselves in there, and there's wings and whatever. So anyway, there's specks and stuff all over in the actual bees, the beehives, the beeswax. So I'm loving it. Like I said, I just started the transitions. This is on my Make 9, which if we keep going, maybe I'll talk about my Make 9 on another episode. That's kind of just a goal, 9 patterns that you can pick that you want to work on for the year. It's a thing over on Instagram, a hashtag over on Instagram that I saw, so I decided to play along and I picked 9, and I really wanted to get one done, so I decided to start this hat. I'm also doing this as part of my Blame Dunder Knit Along because I'll show you my next work in progress, which is what I started for the Blame Dunder Knit Along back in November, and it's not that I've lost steam on it. I love it, and I'm so excited to be making headway on it, but it's just taking longer than I thought it would, which I don't know why that should surprise me. It takes more brain space than I think it should, I guess. And that is, it's living in my South Paw Creations Rainbow Zebra Zip-Up bag. Most of my project bags are South Paw Creations. That's Aran, Gimme Yarn 418. I love her bags. I enjoy watching her. Not a podcast. Anyway, for my Blame Dunder Knit Along, my initial start, I started the Andrea Mowry, the Free Your Fade. Yes, Andrea Mowry. Dear heavens, I didn't write that down because I put it in my phone. So that's super helpful when I'm recording on my phone and can't even look. But let's see if we can get my yarn out of the way here. And so I can show you my Free Your Fade. And the yarn that I'm using, the yarns that I'm using, that light's probably blowing this out pretty bad. I did get my second yarn added in, which I was pretty excited about to get to that transition. The 3 yarns I'm using are from from July. I bought them in July, and they are from the Tits Out collective that the Countess Ablaze started. I knew I wanted to buy 3 yarns for this shawl. I had picked this shawl pattern out, and I wanted to do 3 yarns. And so I have the light color is from Hummingbird Moon, and that's super light. You can see a lot more of the colors in there. It's my leftover cake, that's all. That one's done. And that is, if I want exposure, I'd get my Tits out, which Tits out of the Broom closet on her Over the Moon sock yarn, which is an 80/20 Superwash Merino nylon blend. The second, and that's, oh goodness, I don't have anything like in my lap. And I love the way it looks like it almost like pooled, like it's dark on the very tip, then I got this light section, then I got this darker section, and then it kind of, I don't know, I love how it's like super light in here, but it's like more speckledy in here. I love it. I love the way it's working up. I love the way it's doing everything, and that might have been the first one I saw. And then the second yarn, which was actually the last one I picked, is Honeybee Knits in her If I Want Exposure I'll Get My Tits Out Be Positive version, and that's this guy. And this is just like almost neon colors. I love the brightness of it. It is so fun. And then my final color, which I'm also thrilled about, is Witch Candy. If I Want Exposure I'll Get My Tits Out Witch's Tits, which I think it's funny that 2 of mine have witchy names. I didn't pick them that way on purpose, but this is kind of a black background with pops of those super bright colors. So my first one is a natural background with pops of the colors. Then I go to just all the colors and then a black. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a very bright kind of, I don't want to call it a rainbowy shawl because it's not specifically rainbowy, but so since I'm knitting it's Free Your Fade. I don't know if I call it Find Your Fade. It's Free Your Fade. Free Your Fade. Yes, Free Your Fade shawl by Andrea Mowry. So I'm calling it my Free Your Tits shawl because I think that's funny and it goes along with the whole thing of it. So that's that. And then also living in that bag is a almost finished object. It should be finished, but I have one of my problems, and one of the reasons I'm trying to do and call this one of the reasons I call this Crafty Accountability and that I'm doing this is because I am a horrible, when I finish knitting, crocheting, I'm done. Like, I'm done. It goes away and I don't finish it. I don't seam, I don't block, not always, but I'm notorious for like not finally finishing my stuff. So this next project, which I'm counting as a WIP because I can't gift it to the recipient because I haven't blocked it and I really want to block it before I gift it to her, is this is the Acromantula hat by Christy Houghton. She never says her last name. I don't know if it's that or Houghton. She is the Diary Behind Yarn Cafe Creations, and one half of the Girls in the Yarn Cafe podcast. And these little, I don't know if my light's gonna let you see, make little spiders. They're actually acromantulas. That's a Harry Potter term. But, so I have the hat. It's knit. The ends are woven in. Like, I just need to block this thing and give it to my niece. I've made this for my niece. And so, and this is knit out of Barocco Vintage in the charcoal colorway. So I just need to get that blocked and give it to her. So hopefully next time I will have a blocked hat, and then I can gift it, and it'll be out of my house and my zone. I have another project like that. Oh, there it is. Goodness, I couldn't see it, which is just silly. And this one is living in one of the first Southpaw Creations bags I ever bought. Cute mermaids and narwhals. And this is, it's from the Baby Botanicals book by Alana Dakos of Never Not Knitting. And I am making my baby the Baby Branches cardigan. I love it. It's hooded. It's also got this like super cute tree detail at the back that I love. And it is knit and needs to be seamed. So I want to steam it before I seam it so that it'll seam nicer. I made her another sweater that was a newborn sweater, and it's fine. You can't tell when it's on her, but if you pull the seams at all, you can see how ugly they are. And this sweater took quite a bit of time, and I'm very, very proud of it. And I don't want to ruin it by doing a bad job seaming. But let's see. Flip that back so you guys can see. So here's the front. My two front panels. They're attached at the they attached at the shoulders. So they're attached to the back. You pick up for the hood. So it's got the hood. And then the cute little back with that tree detail. And it's got the little pleat there in the back. And this has, I start the pattern. First thing it does is have you do like a folded hem. There's the inside. So there's the outside. So it's a really pretty finishing, but I had never done that. Then you go straight into short row shaping, which I had never done short rows. So this had a lot of, the back thingy was charted as well as written out, which I like a chart to refer to, but I prefer having the written instructions. I'm not sure why. I like to have, I think I could work off of either, but I prefer to have both, I guess, but I seem to be more of a written out one, but I've never done anything off of a chart before. So this was a lot of firsts for me. You join the shoulders with a 3-needle bind off. I've never done that before. And I've got 2 sleeves. My sleeves are little like rolly tubes, and you do the folded hem on the sleeves also. So I have got 2 sleeves and a sweater. So I'm really hoping next time I'm gonna have a beautiful sweater and pictures of my daughter in it so that you guys can see how cute she is in her new sweater. I had really wanted to have that finished for Christmas, and I'm pretty sure I finished knitting it before Christmas. But like I said, the seaming had me terrified, and when I had to do those, the wristers class, and I learned the mattress stitch, I had to make the sample for it, so this was the first time I did mattress stitch, well, the original ones. So now that I know how to do mattress stitch, I feel much better about doing that. So I just need to steam it and then get it seamed up. My next work in progress is another sample for a class at Joann's. And I hope it's okay that I'm saying that, because corporate kind of is funny about, they have been funny in the past about social media stuff, but I'm guessing it's okay. I don't know. I guess I'll find out if it's not, won't I? If you hear that I'm not teaching there anymore. But this is Knitting in the Round class, and it is a colorwork hat. And this is my first time doing true like stranded color work, 2-color color work. I've done mosaic Colorwork hat, which you will be seeing because guess what? It's done with no end sewn in, hasn't been blocked, needs a pom-pom. So when that gets finally finished, you'll be seeing that. This is my first time doing color work, and this has been a problem. It has used the same size needles all the way through. I could feel it was kind of tight, whatever, and then I did the top, and it went from here, and it sucked in, and then it poofed back out on the top, so it looked awful, and it wouldn't fit on my head. The color work was so tight it wouldn't fit on my head. I could get the brim on my head, but that was it. So I ripped back, and I tried doing it, consciously keeping it looser. It was still too tight. So I think the body's knit in size 11 needle, so I got a pair of size 13s to go up to for the color work. So I'm gonna go up to 13s for the color work and then back to 11s for the rest of the decreases, the crown and the decreases. And this is out of Lion Brand Wool Ease Thick and Quick in Fisherman and Black. And I didn't tell you, Tabitha's sweater, the baby branches, is Barocco Vintage DK in the smoke colorway. Someday I'll be awesome and I'll look back at this first episode and be all, what was that girl doing? She has got to get her stuff together. I think that already. My last Yarny project that I'm going to talk about today kind of goes into my only acquisition for the week. I am trying really hard not to buy new stuff, but and actually I say that, and Thursday Joann's Simply Soft goes $2.49 a skein, which is half price, so I'm going to be picking some of that up for my Magic Yarn project. Yeah, Magic Yarn project hats. So I will have acquisitions next time too, but I bought some of the, let me yank a little of this. I'm also not used to saving my things to tell you about because I didn't know we were going to do this. I've wanted to do this. I wanted to do it before the knit along ended, which is the 31st of January, so I gotta get going on my Beeswax Hat, but I also wanted to get this done, and it's kind of been, I won't call it a New Year's resolution because I don't like the word resolution, and I try not to do specific those, but it was one of my goals for the year to actually podcast, and at least I've done it once, so I've podcasted, so, but it's the Bernat Velvet, and again, I know this is backwards. This is Burgundy Plum, and this one is Blush Pink. So I bought these two, and the whole reason I bought them is because Repeat Crafter Me came out with the Velvet Valentine Crochet Bear, which is out of these, and it is so cute. This is the main color. This is like the muzzle and the paws, and oh, a big heart on its belly, and this stuff is so soft. And of course I told my boyfriend, I'm like, I think our baby needs this bear, and her birthday is I almost said September, I don't know where that came from, February 24th, so hers won't be a Valentine bear, hers is going to be a birthday bear. I'm going to give this to her for her birthday. But I got started on it. He's got like a half a body. But it even feels like, oh, it crochets up so soft. I'm using an H hook like the pattern recommends. However, I'm pretty sure my gauge is smaller than the pattern says, and that's fine. The bear's supposed to be 11 inches from top to bottom, which if mine's smaller, it's okay. That doesn't matter to me. I would rather have a tighter fabric where the stuff doesn't poke out, because I'm sure she's 11 months old right now. I'm sure she's going to be poking it, biting it, whatever, so a tighter gauge would be better off. I will say it is fairly difficult to see your stitches, so I do have to concentrate. I do whole rounds at a time so I can count and make sure I'm getting all of my stitches in, and I mark the front of my round when I do that first stitch. So I do this first stitch and then I put the marker in so that I know that's where it's at, because otherwise I wouldn't be seeing where that first stitch probably was. And this is really tricky with the use slip stitch to join your rounds, at least for the body. You're not doing a continuous join. This is a free pattern on, I think it's on Yarnspirations, but you can go to the Repeat Crafter Me blog, which is Sarah Zimmerman, and find the pattern for this. It's a free pattern, so I'm not giving away anything. But you join in the round, and there's, whenever you're joining in the round, you always have, when you slip stitch, you always have the little slip stitch that leans. I don't know if you can even see what I'm pointing to. It's easier to see over here because I've worked into the last stitch here, and here's my first stitch here, and it kind of looks like there should be one more. So with this, I mean, I can see that totally fine in a normal, like, acrylic yarn. I typically crochet with acrylic. I can see that perfectly fine. I'm pretty confident. I'm very confident in my crochet skills. I'm a newbie knitter, so I'm not super confident in my knitting skills, but I'm very confident in my crochet skills. I say that, and I'm teaching knitting classes at Joanne's. I am at least an intermediate knitter. I am capable. I just don't, I guess, have faith in myself or believe in I don't know what it is. Anywho, I am very aware that that is a thing, and I can totally see that in my regular yarn. I think I would be putting extra stitches in with this yarn. So I do work at a couple of rounds at a time. So hopefully we'll have a little more progress on this next time. I don't have to have it until, like I said, February 24th, which is her birthday. So I have about a month to get it done, and I've got other things that I'd like to get done quicker or sooner. Sorry, I'm gonna have a drink. I'm having some tea. This is my traditional medicinals mother's milk tea. I'm still breastfeeding my baby, so I try to drink one of these every day to help keep my milk supply up. Okay, so that is everything on the yarn front. I have some sewing stuff, just a couple of projects that I wanted to share with you that are kind of in progress that I would really like to get done. So these are kind of accountability type things. The first one is I am making a car seat poncho, and I didn't write it. Oh, yes, it's a car seat poncho, and I am following the car seat poncho tutorial from thebabyandthebulldog.com. So I have made my hood, and my hood is, we put it on her, and it's too pointy, so I need to curve, like, gentle this out a little. It's not, I mean, it's been stitched, it's finished, but it's not attached to the poncho yet, so I can still flip it inside out and fix the curve on that. It just makes it a little pointy on her head, and I don't like that look, and it'll be fine, but I just need to just gentle that out a little. What I used, they recommend if you have a sweatshirt that fits, just tracing the hood of the sweatshirt. I didn't have, she has a cranial helmet. She has a flat spot on her head, so she has a helmet on, so most of her, and she's tiny, so she's 11 months, but she's still in 6-month tops. She's in 9-month sleepers because she's long, but her legs are long, not her torso, so she's still in 6-month onesies and on top. So her hoodie that we have is a 6-month hoodie, which the hood doesn't fit over her helmet at all. So I made her a Beloved bonnet by Tin Can Knits, and I made it in the toddler size, and that fits great over her helmet. So that's what I traced for this, because I wanted it to be more functional, like long term. I wanted to be able to use it until at least she's 2, I would think. So but she's, and then I have the poncho cut out. So it's, again, it's this cute Noah's Ark, which I don't even know if you can tell it's Noah's Ark. It just looks like giraffes. This is just giraffe fabric. But there's an alligator, and I swear there are arcs on here. I think there are boats on here, but I'm not positive. Let's see. Oh, there's not boats. So you might not know it's Noah's Ark if I didn't tell you it was Noah's Ark, but that's what it was called, and that's what I'm calling it. So, because it's just giraffes and elephants and alligators, I guess, and suns and rainbows. But anyway, I bought this at Joann's 10-15 years ago, and it was $2 a yard. So I think I have 4 yards of it. So when I wanted to make her this poncho, she's getting to the point where you want to take her out of the car seat because she can sit up in the shopping cart and stuff like that, but it's wintertime and it's very, very cold, and I don't want her in her heavy coat in the car seat. And I don't like the idea of having the car door open and trying to put her in her jacket while we're in there, like fighting with that, because then it's getting cold. And anyway, I'd really rather have something that I could just wrap her in. So if I could have this, even if this isn't necessarily, I mean, it'll be over her, you know, hello, in the car seat, you know, and then when I pull her out, she'll just be wrapped in it. And she says that her 5-year-old still wears this size, because I made it, the circle circumference is 18 inches. So it just took a yard of the fabric, and I had plenty left over from the rest of the, because it's 60 wide, so to cut out my hood. So I'm really hoping, I go to my mom's on Sundays, and I'm really hoping to get some sewing done tomorrow since we have a break in the football. This is going to be controversial, I'm sure. I'm a New England Patriots football fan. I lived in Massachusetts for 3 years, and that's when I became a fan, and that was from 2000. I lived there all of 2000, and I came home at the end of 2002. So I was there 2000, 2001, 2002. So I was a Patriots fan, like, I'm not going to say from like the beginning or whatever, but that's when I became a fan. And it also just so happens that 2001 was Tom Brady's first year, but it's neither here nor there. That's the first time I've lived in a place that had its own football team. And like, our local team, I guess, would be the Denver Broncos. They're the closest ones right now. And my dad does not like the Broncos. So I grew up not liking the Broncos, so they can't be my local team. So my dad is a Miami Dolphins fan, so I liked the Dolphins for a long time. And then when I was in New England and on my own, well, not on my own, I was married at the time, watching football and whatnot, of course we got all the Patriots games televised, because you would. It's our local market. So I became a Patriots fan. So I know that's frowned upon these days, but anyway, my Sundays have been very football intensive lately, and this Sunday I get a break. Next Sunday I get to watch the Super Bowl, and I'm fingers crossed Tom Brady can win his last Super Bowl. And all you Patriots haters should probably hope that too, because he'll probably retire, and then we'll have a whole new team, and who knows what'll happen. But if not, he might not retire, and then you're stuck with us for another year. Well, at least the Brady Belichick legacy, if you're sick of that. Anyway, the other thing I want to do is put ribbons around the bottom. My baby loves a tag, those silky tags that are on toys and everything. She loves those, so I want to put ribbons around the bottom, and my mom's just got a bunch of ribbons, so I'm hoping to get that sewing done tomorrow. And then my other project, which is an accountability project, I finished this before Christmas. It is a quilt. You will not get to see it today because I can't guarantee that my friend that this is for isn't watching. This was supposed to be for her baby, but it will be probably for her 1-year-old. Her baby was born about a month. Oh, I think a little less than a month after, because I think he was born March 22nd, I want to say. So just that couple days shy of being a month after Tabitha. But I just need to tack the binding now. The binding's attached. We love to do our quilts. The tops we either do cotton or flannel. And I say we because my boyfriend helps with input on this. We put Minky on the back, and then we do a satin binding. So it has all the textures. We love textures on baby things. That's one of my boyfriend's like major things. So I just need to hand stitch the binding down on this. And then I can get it washed up and get it to her. I need to get a tag on it too, but a label on it. But I'm really, really excited for her to see it. And even though he's a year old, it's big enough for him to still play on the floor on or cuddle up with or whatever. It'll be fine that it's been that long. But I am super proud of this quilt. I think it came out adorable. My mom quilted it amazingly. So I'm really, really excited for her to see it. She's going to love it. So now she knows, if she is watching, she knows who she is. And she's seen the back of her quilt. And she knows she's getting one. But the front of it is the star of the show. So those are my 2 sewing projects that I would really like to get, I'm going to say progress on the binding, because I really want to get that beeswax hat done by Thursday. So that takes away from my like hand time. So we'll say progress on that. But the poncho I'd like to get done tomorrow. My final category that I'm going to talk about today is paper crafting. And I have a little bit of everybody who was there knows. I did not get my thank you cards finished from my baby shower, which was February 3rd of last year. So my goal is to get my thank you cards made and sent out by February 3rd of this year, which again, that's going to be a little bit of a time crunch because I really want to get that hat done by the 31st, and then I need to get my thank you cards done by the 3rd. So it's a crunch, and I have about 50 to do. But I really, in my heart, feel guilty sending out first birthday invitations when I haven't sent out my thank you cards. And I have at least a design in my head that I've started kind of cutting out pieces for, so I just need to sit down and assembly line crank those puppies out. So we're gonna do that this week, and if they don't go out by the 3rd, I'll at least have made good progress and be like in a good place to be getting them out timely, or they're already not timely, but getting them out. The second paper crafting thing I really want to work on is an album for Tabitha's first year. I bought a Becky Higgins Project Life album and a bunch of the pages that go in there and a bunch of cards, and I had friends that gave me cards, and I've got papers and all kinds of stuff for that, so I can fairly quickly pocket journal, or pocket scrapbook, I guess is what you call it. Those. I need to get the pictures printed. That's one of the big things. So for this next week, I want to get her at least first month pictures printed. And we want to try a couple different services, figure out which one is going to be the most economical. I also, for Christmas last year, got maybe mine's an HP Sprocket. It's awful that I don't know. This was Christmas last year, not like 2018 last year, like 2017 last year. And I played with it when I first got it, and then I haven't, well, I had my baby and I haven't printed pictures since. So I know for a fact that there are a lot of my pictures, the Sprocket only prints like 2.5 by 3.5 or 2 by 3 or something, so they're smaller pictures, but there's some things that I want smaller like that because I want to print a whole bunch of, you know, the same kind of things. And then I want maybe like a bigger 4 by 6 of one of the pictures. But you know, sometimes you take like a series of pictures and they're all really cute, but I don't need like 5 pages of the same thing. So if I can print them on the smaller things and have them do their own spread, I think that would be awesome. So that's my plan there. So hopefully by next week I'll at least have the pictures printed and we can kind of figure out, or I'll have sent them off to be printed, whatever. That's this week. I just want to get those figured out and printed, or crank out my sprocket and get them going. The last thing for my paper crafting things for this week is I want to make another traveler style-ish notebook, Midori notebook. I don't know exactly what these are called. I followed a tutorial from May Made It to make mine. She did hers as a holiday planner for 2017, I want to say. So it's got these little minor notebooks, I guess, and they've got the elastics. So mine can hold up to 4 different inserts in it. And mine is pretty much crafty. You can kind of tell by my paper. This is, you got your buttons on the outside and inside. There's this cute little piece of knitting that kind of looks like a heart, and then this is, you know, cute sewing. And then this one is yarn balls in like a segmented box thingy, and then it's got this really pretty cable knit print on the inside. And I printed out, I found a dot grid. It's just a regular size dot grid, and I printed it on both sides of the papers. And this is kind of my crafty book, I guess. I'm trying to keep track of my stuff in here. So I kind of have a project of all my whips, which is longer than what you're seeing here because all I'm showing on here are things that I'm actively working on. So if I have not touched them, they might, there's a fine line between a whip and a UFO, in my opinion, an unfinished object. But I have several things that I've wanted. I'm trying to keep track of my class samples that I'm doing, my Make 9. I also find myself to be very not so great about keeping track about like changes I make on things, and I know Ravelry is great for that, and I'm a Ravelry noob, and I put a bunch of my projects on Ravelry, and I'm so proud of myself because like I haven't hardly used it. I think I have a total of like 11 projects on there, and most of them probably aren't even finished or in there fully or whatever. A few of them I've added because I wanted to participate in like knit-alongs, and you had to have the pictures uploaded to a project page before you could link them in the groups or whatever. I feel like a noob even just talking about this, let me just say. Anywho, so I want to keep better track of like changes I make or things like that. Kind of like with these Magic Yarn Project hats, you know, like what my formula is. Take their pattern, I could even print it out and stick it in one of those, you know, elastic notebook thingies and put my notes on it. Or just make, I also kind of want to make a page for the projects. There's a lot of free printables for project things, so I kind of want to look at those and see what I can find in those, or just do them bullet journal style maybe and make up my own. The Yarn Hoarder's doing a dishcloth challenge. She did it last year. She's doing it again this year. I'd really like to kind of participate in that. I have those, you know, 12 by 12 cubby things, and mine are what, 3 by 3? Yeah, so there's 9. I have 4 of those on the wall just back here behind where you guys are right now, and 2 of those are full of cotton. I'm not sure. I think I was going to make a lot of dishcloths at one time, so I'd kind of like to get rid of those because I have too much. I have too much stuff. Too much supplies. Too many supplies. Anywho, I got off topic. So I kind of want to keep that in my second notebook. So that's kind of what this is. It's almost like a journal type thing for me. I really like the style of it because it's interchangeable. I can, if I decide I want to use it for something different, I can make totally different inserts. Anyway, my mom saw this and she was like, ooh, I think I need something like that. I have to-do lists all over the place and I really kind of wish I had a centralized place to put them. So I'm hoping to make her a book like this. This is actually my second one. The first one I made, I didn't make my cover, in my opinion, long enough. It wasn't longer than my inserts, so my inserts got kind of beat up with my elastic because they were hitting on the cardstock. So this is technically my second one, and I whipped it out pretty quick because I got quick with the grommets and the threading and all that good stuff. So I think I can make my mom one fairly quickly, and she'll be pretty pleased if I can show up with that. So we'll have to see if I get my mom's made, but that's definitely on the agenda for this week as well. So I have several yarn projects, only one that needs to be done, right? Oh, 2. I'm going to say 2 because that acromantula hat needs to be, no, 3. Oh, Emily. The acromantula hat needs to be blocked. The sweater needs to be steamed and seamed. And then the beeswax hat needs to be knit. So those should all be done this week. The sewing, the poncho should be done and started on the binding. And then for the paper crafting things, they should all be progress, except for I'd really like to get that book done for my mom. So I think that's all I have for today. And that is a lot. I really didn't expect it to go this long, although I shouldn't be surprised that it did. Hopefully next time it'll be a little shorter. Hopefully I'll be a little more together. I'm kind of hoping to do this weekly. That just kind of seems like it makes sense to me, but again, we'll have to see how time goes. I'm not sure. We're also kind of working on, like I said, this is kind of slapdash, so I'm not a big fan of the big mess behind me, but taking the time to clean my craft room would have just been one more excuse for me not to do this. I've had a lot of excuses not to do this. I don't have a Crafty Accountability Ravelry group set up. If that's something people are interested in, let me know and I'll look into getting it done. I told you I'm kind of a Ravelry noob, but I am willing to learn. I told you I've got some of my projects in there. It felt really good to get them in there. It's good to look at them. I can put, well, and you all know this, but I can put my, you know, all my needle/hook information in there so I don't forget it, because I am notorious for setting aside something shiny, and you take the needles off the cable and put those stoppers on the end. Yeah. And you hope you followed the pattern, because I didn't write it down, which is what I'm also hoping that other notebook will be helpful for. So we shall have to see if all of that comes to pass. The only other thing I want to show you is my notebook for my show notes, you know, to keep me kind of straight. Oh, it's Mario. We bought this on clearance at GameStop like a long time ago, and it's a super nice, like, textured with the bricks notebook, and I've been saving it for something special, and I decided this is a super fun notebook and I love it and I've wanted to use it, but I wanted it to be important, so I think this is important, so that's what I'm using it for. So I will try to have links to all my stuff down below in the description box, to like patterns and websites and whatever I've mentioned that might be helpful. If you have any questions or constructive criticism, please feel free to leave it. I take things in stride. I know this is not a perfect first episode, but I'm willing to take any suggestions or anything like that. If there's something that I repeatedly do over and over again that's one of those annoying things, let me know, because I'm going to say obviously I'm not aware of it, or I probably would try not to do it, or I would acknowledge it straight up front and tell you, oh, so I do this, FYI. So otherwise, I think that is it for today. Huge relief having this over with. And I say that like in the best terms possible. And I'm really excited to go get to work on my stuff and make progress and be able to report back to you guys and be accountable for my projects and accomplish some things. Accomplish is my word for 2019. We can talk about that another time too, like with my Make 9. So if I've mentioned anything you want more information on, please let me know. And I'm just excited to be here. Let me just tell you. So I'm hoping we'll have lots more. So until next time, have a rosy ray day. Bye.